I'm attorney Carl Barkemeyer. I have defended clients with criminal mischief charges in Louisiana for over 17 years. I have seen many different fact scenarios when it comes to this charge. I know which defenses work and which ones don't. As you're watching this video, keep in mind that every case is different since there are different alleged facts, victims, prosecutors, etc. I put this video together as a general guide on the laws regarding criminal mischief in Louisiana. The most important thing to know if you've received a summons for criminal mischief in Louisiana is that it is a charge that carries up to 6 months in jail. If you decide to just go to court and plead guilty to the charge without an attorney, you will be at the mercy of the judge during sentencing. If the judge does not like the acts that you were accused of, he could have you remanded immediately and ordered to serve up to 6 months in parish prison. He may just give you 1 or 2 months in jail. Even if the judge does not give you parish prison, he could place you on probation for up to 2 years and hang jail time over your head if you mess up during probation. He could order as conditions of probation that you complete classes, community service, and pay probation fees, fines, and court costs. The statute for criminal mischief encompasses a lot of different behaviors. Police officers will often charge someone with criminal mischief when they feel like the defendant has done something offensive or illegal, but it does not squarely fit a specific statute. Criminal mischief is the intentional tampering with any property of another without the consent of the owner, with the intent to interfere with the free enjoyment of any rights of anyone thereto, or with the intent to deprive anyone entitled thereto of the full use of the property. For instance, if the defendant is in a store changing price tags or trying to remove theft detection devices, a police officer may charge her with criminal mischief. Also, any sort of vandalism would fall under this statute, as well as the criminal damage to property statute. Criminal mischief is the intentional giving of any false alarm of fire or notice which would reasonably result in emergency response. It is illegal under this law to pull a false fire alarm. Usually you see kids and mentally disabled people get accused of criminal mischief under this provision. It creates a lot of disruption to give notice to the police of a fire. Many first responders must act immediately and travel to the scene. So as you can see, the potential threat of a fire causes stress to the people present. This disruption is why the legislature has made such a harsh penalty for false fire alarms. Criminal mischief is the intentional driving of any tack, nail, spike, or metal over 1.5 inches in length into any tree located on lands belonging to another without the consent of the owner or without the later removal of the object from the tree. This provision makes it illegal to put nails in trees without consent from the owner. The reason is that the nails can damage or kill the tree. Damaging or killing a person's tree may result in less enjoyment of the tree and their property. Criminal mischief is the intentional felling, topping, or pruning of trees or shrubs within the right-of-way of the state highway without written approval of the chief engineer of Department of Transportation Development or his designated representative, provided prior written approval is not required for agents or employees of public utility companies in situations of emergency where the person or property of others is endangered. What this means is that you can only legally cut or trim trees that you own and that are not part of the right-of-way for the state. Criminal mischief is the intentional giving of any false report or complaint to a sheriff or his deputies or to any officer of the law relative to the commission of or an attempt to commit a crime. This is a common form of criminal mischief. The legislature has made it illegal to make false police reports because it is disruptive to the police and requires them to spend time and resources to respond to a false report. Criminal mischief is the intentional throwing of any stone or any other missile in any street, avenue, alley, road, highway, open space, public square, or enclosure, or throwing any stone, missile, or other object from any place into any street, avenue, road, highway, alley, open space, public square, enclosure, or at any train, railroad car, or locomotive. Obviously, this is illegal because it could cause a lot of damage. If nobody was hurt or no damage occurred, the defendant would still have a charge for criminal mischief. The judge would likely give him 6 months in jail for this. Criminal mischief is the intentional taking temporary possession of any part or parts of a place of business or remaining in a place of business after the person in charge of such business or portion of such business has directed such person to leave the premises and to desist from the temporary possession of any part or parts of such business. This provision encompasses the scenario when an employee gets fired but refuses to leave or makes a scene disrupting the business. The law makes it illegal to stay because the employee could have access to important files or information of the business. The employee could then steal that information. If you get fired, grab your belongings and leave the business immediately. Criminal mischief is the intentional communication to any person for the purpose of disrupting the public utility water service when the communication causes any officer, employee, or agent of the service reasonably to be placed in a sustained fear for his or another person's safety, or causes the evacuation of a water service building, or causes any discontinuance of any water services. It is illegal to call a water company and tell them that you did something to the water supply. That would cause a utility service company to have to react by investigating and testing the water. Criminal mischief is the intentional discharging of any firearm at a train, locomotive, or railroad car. Sorry to break it to you, but if you're caught shooting at a train, you could go to jail. It is illegal to shoot at a train. As you can see, criminal mischief charges can be very serious. Oftentimes, they will be accompanied by other charges as well. But we know how to successfully defend these charges. If you or someone you know has a criminal mischief charge, feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to help.